She has not spoken to anyone on this train. She does not need to. In the last 4 minutes, she has noticed that the man in the gray coat is anxious about something, not the journey. That the woman by the window had an argument this morning, she has not resolved. And that the teenager in the corner is hiding something in his bag he does not want anyone to see. She has not deduced any of this. She has observed it. And that is a trainable skill. Welcome back to Deductive Minds. In Episode 5, the predictive brain. In Episode 6, the neuroscience of insight. Today, the most socially powerful skill a sharp mind can develop. The ability to read people with precision, with empathy, and with neuroscience behind every observation. Paul Ekman spent 60 years studying the human face. A psychologist at the University of California, Ekman made a discovery in the 1960s that changed the science of emotion forever. He found that certain facial expressions are universal, not culturally learned, not regionally specific. The same expressions of fear, anger, disgust, surprise, happiness, sadness, and contempt appear on human faces across every culture ever studied, from New York to Papua New Guinea. And he found something else, something more powerful: microexpressions. A microexpression is a facial expression that lasts between 1/25th and 1/5 of a second. It appears and disappears before the conscious mind can register it. It cannot be faked. It cannot be suppressed. It is the face telling the truth while the voice tells a story. Ekman discovered that most people miss microexpressions entirely. But with training, consistent, deliberate training, the ability to detect them can be dramatically improved. This is not a gift. It is a skill. But reading people is not only about the face. In the 1990s, Italian neuroscientists discovered something extraordinary in the brains of macaque monkeys, and then in humans. Mirror neurons. Neurons that fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing it. V.S. Ramachandran called them the neurons that shaped civilization. When you watch someone in pain, your mirror neurons activate the same circuits associated with your own pain. When you watch someone smile, your mirror neurons begin to generate a smile. Empathy, in other words, is neural mechanism built into the architecture of the social brain. The face is only one channel. The body speaks constantly in posture, in gesture, in micro-movement, in the direction of the feet, in the tension of the hands. Most of us read these signals automatically through mirror neuron activation, but imprecisely. We feel that something is off without knowing what. We like someone without knowing why. We trust or distrust before a word has been spoken. Training and observation turns these vague feelings into precise, nameable signals. First, practical exercise. Establish the baseline. Before you can read a change in someone, you need to know they're normal. When you meet someone for the first time, spend the first 2 to 3 minutes only observing their baseline behavior. How do they naturally sit? What is their default vocal tone? Where do their eyes go when they think? How do they use their hands when comfortable? This is not profiling. This is precision observation. Only once you know the baseline can you meaningfully interpret a deviation from it. Second practical exercise. Apply the cluster rule. A single signal means almost nothing. A crossed arm could be cold. A glance away could be thought. A micro-expression of contempt could be guessed. But 3 signals appearing together in the same moment, in the same context, form a cluster. A cluster is meaningful. A single signal is noise. Train yourself to wait for 3 before drawing any conclusion. 1 signal, note it. 2 signals, watch closely. 3 signals, now you have something worth interpreting. Third practical exercise. Listen for the gap. The most revealing moments in conversation are often not what is said, but what is not said. The question that is answered with another question. The topic that is subtly changed. The pause that is half a second too long. The detail that is volunteered when not asked for. These are Ekman's verbal leakage signals, the places where the story and the truth come apart at the seams. Train yourself to notice not just the content of what someone says, but the architecture of how they say it. Reading people is not a superpower. It is the disciplined use of neural systems every human brain possesses. Microexpressions, trained to conscious awareness. Mirror neurons, refined through deliberate attention. The cluster rule, patience before conclusion. The gap, the truth beneath the words. These are the tools, and they are learnable. Next episode, we encounter the enemy, not external, internal. Daniel Kahneman's 2 thinking systems, and the invisible ways System 1 hijacks your reasoning while System 2 sleeps. The neuroscience of cognitive bias, the invisible enemy. That is Episode 8. Thank you for watching. If this episode has sharpened the way you observe the people around you, then it has done its work. Subscribe, like, hit the bell. Episode 8 is where the real challenge begins. Until then, reason sharply, observe precisely, think deeply. Deductive minds reason sharply, observe precisely, think deeply.